This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last session, we have discussed about the collection classes, and we have discussed what exactly a collection and what is a use. What are the various collection classes are available in Salesforce? And from that one, what is the significance of this list collection class we have discussed. And now let's see today, how can we manage the elements inside this collection with the help of the ready-made methods which has been given by the list collection class. As part of this list class, we have so many ready-made methods are available which can be used to manage the elements inside this collection. Just with the help of some ready-made methods, we can manage the elements. Then how can we manage the elements with the help of these ready-made methods? Now let's see practically. And what are those methods we see one by one. So first of all, I will give you the whole information about each and every method theoretically, and then with syntactical wise also. And then I will give you one example also on this one. Then we'll see a complete practical, okay, complete practical on list collection with all the methods. Now, so first of all, for example, I'm having a list collection where I want to store a collection of customer names, or some employee names, or some student names, or some client names, anything, whatever. So I'm creating a list collection to store some set of customer names. Customer name in the sense what? Customer name is nothing but like some Ramesh, Paramesh, and then Suresh Kumar or David, like that. We are having so many customer names. That means these are string values. So I want to define a list collection which can able to store a collection of string elements. So I'm indicating that. So I would like to define a list collection which can able to store a collection of elements of type string. Each and every element will be of type string, which can hold some alphanumerical values along with some special characters also inside it. I'm giving that object name as so now LST customer names. LST customer names. Or simply LST names also. Any object name you can provide, no problem. New list of string. So I'm creating the object. I have created the object of the list collection class with the name LST customer names, and which can store a collection of elements of type string. Okay. Now, so this list collection can store a collection of string elements inside this. Now, so now just now I have defined this collection. Have we stored any elements inside this? No. So now what is the number of elements in this collection initially? 0. There's no elements are there. Collection is empty. It's an empty collection right now. There's no elements are available here. Then how can we add the elements to the collection right now? No, just now I have defined the collection. The collection is empty right now. There is no elements are there. Then how can we add the elements to the collection? Now let's see. For that one, Salesforce has given a method called as add method as part of this list collection class. In this list class, we have a method called as add method. Here we have to specify the element name. That means which element you want me to add to the collection. We have to use a method called as add method. Add method is used to add an element to the collection. Okay, add method is used to add an element to the collection. Now, this method is used to add an element to the collection. Only one element, not multiple. Okay, only one element we can add that. One by one, one by one, one by one, we can add. This method is used to add an element to the collection. In order to add an element, we are using this. Now, so what is the syntax? We have to specify the object name of that list collection class dot add. In that one, we can specify the element name. Which element you would like to add over here? Okay, which element you would like to add to the collection? We can able to specify that element name inside this. So we have to specify the collection list collection class object name dot add. So this is the add method which will be adding this specific element to this particular collection. Then how can we add? Let me explain. And now my collection is what? LSC customer name. So right now the collection is empty. There is no elements are available. Okay. There is no elements are available. So I'm adding an element over here. LST customer names dot add. I want to add an element with the name some Ramesh. Okay, Ramesh. Whenever I'm adding this element, what will happen? That already told you, list collection is purely supporting dynamic memory allocation. Okay, it is purely supporting dynamic memory allocation, where whenever I'm adding an element, automatically memory will be keep on expanding. There is no fixed size. Okay, there is no fixed size. So now it is going to be allocating the memory dynamically in time. Depends upon the number of elements you have stored, the memory will be allocating automatically by default. Now, in this case, whenever I'm going to be adding a new element with the name some Ramesh, it will be allocating the memory. So now my collection will be holding this element over here. Like my collection will be holding this element. So what is my element name? Some Ramesh. This is the element that we have. So this is the element. So now how can we identify this element over here? This element will be identified by using an index position called as 0. That already you know that. Okay, that already you know. Each and every element inside the collection will be identified by using an index position 0. So now this is the element over here, which is available right now. Now you can raise the question, sir, I want to add one more. Then you can add. LST customer means dot add. I'm adding the element like as some David Dotson. This is the element. Whenever I'm adding this element, where this element will go? So now this element will be available as it is. Whatever the collection is there, it is having the element, and then along with it, it is adding the David Dotson. The new element also will be getting added. That means automatically collection will be getting expanded. Collection will be getting expanded. So it will be having that index position 0, index position 1, like that. Suppose, for example, I'm adding one more element over here. LST customer names dot add. I'm indicating like some Praveen. Praveen. So now whenever I'm adding this element will be getting added over here. Where at the end of the collection will be adding over there. So you will be having Ramesh, David, and then you will be having that element Praveen. Okay, 3 elements will be available inside this collection right now. Okay, 3 elements are available. Like that here, depends upon the number of elements you are adding, automatically memory will be keep on expanding over here. So initially we have added only one element, so this is the element is there. And then I have added one more element to the collection, so automatically collection size has been expanded. So whenever I'm adding one more, collection size will be getting expanded over here. So now in this case, how can we identify each and every element? Every element can be identified by using the index position starting from 0. This is the 0th index position. This is the first index position. This is the second index position. This is how we can able to manage the elements inside this list collection. Just we are going to be adding that. So the add method is used to add an element to the collection. Where it will be adding this element at the end of the collection. Initially the collection is empty, so that this is the first element that we have added right now. So now I'm adding one more element with the name, so that this element will be adding at the end of this collection. So already Ramesh is there, and then it is adding this element at the last. And whenever if I'm adding one more, then after this David Dotson, it is adding that. That means at the end of the collection, it is adding always. Okay. Now this is how we can able to add the elements to the collection by using add method. Add method is used to add only one element at a time, and that element will be getting added at the end of the collection, not at the middle, not at the starting. Okay. Now the second method. Second method. The second method is add of index position, comma element name. Index position, comma element name. So now here in this case, what happened? So here I'm adding this element. Simply I'm passing this add of element name. Whenever I'm giving the element name, this element will be adding at the end of the collection. But sometimes I don't want to add at the end of the collection. I want to add an element in this place over here. After Ramesh, I want to insert one element over here. For that one, where you want to add, in which index position after Ramesh I want to add. After Ramesh means what? This is the index position. At the first index position, I want to add one more element over here. Whenever I'm going to be adding this element, then what we need to do, specify at what index position you want to add, what element you want to add over here. Okay, we can indicate. That means here, this method is used to insert the element. Okay, this method is used to insert the element at the specified location. Okay, at the specified location, we can able to insert the element over here. Now, so now here in this case, how can we do that? So in this case, how can we insert the elements inside my collection? Now let's see practically. Now, so now let's see in this case, here what we can do. I want to insert the element at the specified index position. Now let's see. Now in this case, this method is used to insert the new element at the specified index position. At the specified index position. Whatever the index position that you have specified, at that index position, this element will be getting added. That will be inserting this element. Now, so in this case, how can we do that? Now let's see practically. So what is the syntax of this one? We have to specify the list collection object name dot add. Add of here we can specify the index position. That means an integer value over here. Index position means what? Integer value, right? So that we can specify the index position, comma element name. Which element you would like to add? We can specify both over there. Now, how can we do that? Currently, my collection is like this. These are the three elements are there inside my collection. Now I want to add one more element, okay, to my collection at the first index position. At the first index position, I want to add a new element with the name Sam Suresh. Then what we can do in this case? What is my collection name? LST customer name start add. Then at the index position 1, I want to add an element with the name Suresh. Then what will happen in this case here? This is the collection that we have. Currently, I'm having the collection like this. This is the collection right now I have. So now in this case, what will happen? So now the element Suresh will be getting added. Where at the index position 1? Okay, at the index position 1, this new element will be getting added. So these are the elements. Then what about the index position element at 1? That means what? I want to insert this element Suresh at the index position 1. Then what about this already existing element? This will be escalating to the next level over here. So it will be adding the element Suresh, and then it will be having the name already previous element will be escalating to the next level over there. Okay. So now observe this one. Method names are same, but the functionalities are different over here. It will be having third index position. Okay, that means what? So now whenever I'm using this add method with index position and the element name, this method is going to be inserting this element at the index position. Whatever the index that you're given at that index position, this element will be getting added over. So now, so already one element is there in that index position one, that element will be okay escalating to the next level. Okay, it will be escalating to the next level automatically here. Element will not be removed, element will not be replaced, element will be there, it will be escalating to the next level over there. Okay, so now in this case, if you want to add the element at the end of the collection, use this add method. If you want to insert in a specific location, add this add method. Okay, now, so here we are adding okay only one element at a time. Sometimes you want to add a collection of elements. How? For that one, we have a method called as add all. Add all method. Here we have to specify the collection. You can specify the collection name or array name. Okay. So now what is the use of this add all method? Add all method is used to add all the elements available inside this collection or array into your list collection. Okay. Now here add all method is used to add all the elements. Whatever the elements are there in this collection or array, please copy all these elements into my list collection here. For that reason, we are using this add all method. Okay. Now this method is used to add all the elements of the array or collection into the specified list collection. Okay. Whatever the elements are there inside my array or collection, these elements I would like to dump into my list collection. Okay. Now, how can we do that here? For example, assume that I'm having an array, a string array. You know how to define the string arrays already, you know. String array, I'm indicating like as some names. Okay, names equals to new string array. I'm having some names like as some Sampath. I'm having like as some Sudhir. I'm having some Prakash. These are some names are available inside my string array. Okay, I have a string array which is having some elements are available. Okay, which is having some elements are available. So now I want to dump all these elements into my collection. How we can able to use this? Simply we can specify lst customer names dot add all. Use this method name and then specify the array name. What is that array name? Simply this is the array name. Now in this case, what will happen? Whatever the elements are there in this array, all these three elements will be dumping into my collection. So now in this case, what will happen? Already I'm having the collection like this. This is my collection right now. In this one, it will be adding all these three elements. What is the next element over here? Sampath. Okay, it will be adding that Sampath. And then it will be adding Sudhir. It will be adding that Prakash. So all these elements will be adding into my collection automatically by default over here. So and then you will be having the index position. This is the fourth index position. This is the fifth index position. This is the sixth index position. These are the elements to be available. So not only adding one element, we can add a collection of elements to my collection also in one shot by using this add all method. So add method is used to add only one element at a time, and then add all method is used to add a collection of elements to the list collection in one shot.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Could we use add all without using the string or without using the array? So that means could we add the elements straight into the collection instead of using an array?
No. Because here we can use a collection also. Because that's what I have given to you. Instead of using an array, okay, when moving forward, you can do one thing. We can create one list collection. In that list collection, place some element, then dump that list collection to another list collection also. That possibility is there. Okay. You can pass either array name or collection name, because we don't know how to define the collection. Just now we are defining the collection classes. So that here how to define an array. Now this all the array elements I'm dumping into my collection right now. By using that, by passing that array. Suppose if you know a collection, then define one collection, place all the elements, dump this collection into another collection by using add-on. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Now, the fourth one. Next, the fourth method. So now tell me, in this particular collection, how many elements are there now? Now tell me, how many elements are there? 6 elements or 7 elements?
7.
How many? 7 elements. Because of course index may be starting from 0, but our counting will be starting from 1. Okay, so that here we are having totally 7 elements are there. Now in this case, if you want to know how many number of elements are available in this collection, then we are using a method called as size method. Size method. So what this size method will do? Size method is going to be returning what is the size of this collection. Size of the collection means what? How many number of elements are there in this collection? It will be returning the count. In order to get the count of the elements, we are using this size method. Now, this method will return the integer which indicates the elements count. Elements count in the collection. In this collection, how many number of elements are available? We can able to get that count. Then how can we do that? I want to know. System.debug. I want to know that. Collection size is. How can we get the collection size? I'm going to be indicating. What is my collection name over here? LST customer names dot. Simply we can use size. That's it. Simple. So we can access that each and every method. That's what I told you. These are all our instance methods by using object name dot method name. That's it. Object name dot method name. Like as previously we have used object name dot variable name. Like the similar way, object name dot method name. That's it. Simple concept. So the size method is used to identify the number of elements available inside the collection. So now in this case, it is returning that output as 7. We have totally 7 elements are available inside my collection. Okay, we have totally 7 elements are available inside my collection. Of course, the index position is starting from 0, but the counting is always starting from 1. Okay. Now, next. The next method. Boolean is empty. This method is returning a Boolean value. Is empty a method. That means here, what did you understand with this word is empty? In order to know whether this collection is empty or not. In order to know whether this collection is empty or not, we are using the method called as is empty method. So what this method will do? This method is returning that Boolean value. Boolean means what? True or false. So now when it will returns true, when it will returns false. If the collection is empty, it returns true. Okay, if the collection is empty, it returns true, or else it returns false. So what are the collection that we have right now? This is my collection. Now tell me, is this collection is empty? No. Why? Because this collection is having 7 elements are there. So this is not empty. Okay, this collection is not empty because it is having some elements inside this. How many? 7 elements are there. So that here, in order to know whether the collection is empty or not, we are using this is empty method. Okay. Now, this method is used to check whether the collection is empty or not. And then it returns true. It returns true when the collection is empty. Else it returns false. Else it returns false. Then how can we verify whether my collection is empty or not? In this case, I want to cross check that. Okay, I want to cross check that whether the collection is empty or not. So now I want to verify what is my collection name. LST customer names dot is empty. Okay, so now is empty. So now in this case, if the collection is empty, okay, if the collection is empty, then I want to show the message system.debug. Collection is empty. Else, what we can do, system.debug, collection is not empty. Collection is not empty. Okay, so now here I'm going to be indicating that. So if the collection is empty, I'm using the if condition to check whether this collection is empty or not. If it is true, then I would like to show the message collection is empty, or else I want to show the different message that is collection is not empty. So in this case, in order to know whether the collection is empty or not, we are using the help of a method called as isEmpty method. Next, the sixth one. The sixth method contains method. So which is going to be written in a Boolean. Contains method is for what? What is the purpose of this contains method? Now, in order to verify, in order to search whether this element is exists in the collection or not. In order to search, that means whether this collection contains this element or not. In order to know whether the collection is holding this element or not, we are using this method called as contains method. So now contains method is like as a searching method or a find method, okay, inside your collection. In order to search whether this element is already there in the collection or not, to check that we are using contains method. If the element is available, it returns true because it is returning a Boolean value over here. Then what it will do, it returns true when the element is available inside the collection, or else it returns false. Okay, now in this case, this method is used to search for a specific element. If a specified element is found in the collection or not. Now, it returns true when the element found. Else, it returns false. Else, it returns false. Then how can we do that here? Now let's see. I want to verify. If the LST customer names dot contains of, I'm indicating like as some switching here. Now in this case, that means what I'm verifying this. So now whether this collection contains this particular element or not. If yes, if true, I want to show the message. System.debug element found. Element found in the collection. Else system.debug element not found in the collection. In order to know, in order to search whether the element is exist in the collection or not, we are using the help of a method called as contains method. Next, the seventh method. Seventh method is index of. So which is returning one integer value. So what is this index of method right now? What is this index of method? Suppose, for example, I know one element like as some Praveen. I know an element with the name Praveen. I know the element name Praveen. Now tell me, Praveen element is available at what index position? At what index position? Index position 3. So now this is at the allocation index position 3. So in order to know this index position value, at what index this element is available, at what index position this element is available, to know that we are using a method called as index of. That means please return the index position of this particular element. In order to know the index position of the element, we are using this method. Now, in this case, this method is used to get the index of the specified element in the collection. Okay, index position for your information. Index position of the specified element in the collection. Now, here I will give you 2 questions. So this is the element collection over here. This is the collection. Case 1. Case 1. Now tell me what is the index position of the element Praveen. System.debug index position is Praveen is, I want to know, LST customers names dot index of Ravi. Now I'm indicating. So now what it will do here, I'm going to be collecting this information. Index position of this particular element Praveen is, I'm collecting this. What is output value in this case here? Output value will be 3. Output value is 3. This is the result, because here Praveen is available at the index position 3. Now this is one case. Suppose for example, case 2. Second case. Assume that I'm having some elements. These are the elements. Here this element name is Suresh. This element name is Suresh. Now I'm searching for the element over here. System.debug index position is, I want to show. Index of. Now tell me what it will return now. What is the index position now? In the entry point of view, they will raise these kind of small points. These are very, very important. What it will return now? I'm collecting the index position of the element Suresh. But the Suresh element is available at the 2 places. Here also it is available. Here also it is available. Then what it will return? Either 1 or 6. In this case, whenever I'm using this index position, upon getting the index of this element, if the element found multiple times, then whatever the first occurrence is available, this index position will be getting returns to you. Okay. Now this method will returns the first occurrence of the element. When, if the element is repeated, if the same element is repeated multiple times in the collection, then it is returning the first occurrence index position over there. Okay, there is a functionality. Okay, it returns the value. No. It is returning the value 1. This is the concept. Next. Case 3.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So you mean to say, for example, we have a David Dodson in the second position, right? For example, if we add another David at the 0th position, then if we get the index position, which position that we will get?
Now, you are adding David Dodson or simply David?
Simply David. No, the existing element, exactly the
Okay.
same element. David.
Same element.
Yeah.
It will be returning like a 0.
Yeah.
It will return 0 because first occurrence it will return to you.
Okay, it's not when we enter the first David, it's actually whatever the position in the collection, we will get the first.
Yes, right. The first occurrence index position will be getting returns to you.
Okay, thank you.
For example, I'm having this collection. This is the third case. I'm searching for an element over. System.debug. Index position is list customer names dot index of. I'm indicating some RAM. Now tell me, what it returns now? Do we have any element with the name RAM inside my collection? No. We have the elements like this: Ramesh, Suresh, David Dodson, Praveen, Sampat, Sujit, Suresh, like that. But we don't have any element with the name Ram. Then in this case, if the element are not found, what it will return? It will return -1, a negative value. So now, whenever I'm going to be searching for this element, index of method, so now the element found, then the element index position will be getting returned. In some cases, if the same element found in multiple places, then it returns the first occurrence of that element index position. Suppose if the element is not available inside this collection, then it is returning that value as -1. Okay, if the element is not available, okay, with the name Ram, I don't have any element, so that it is returning the value -1. Okay, these are the three cases as part of index of method. Next, the eighth method.
Firoz,
Yes.
in this way, can we search multiple elements?
No, only one.
Okay.
Only one we can search, not multiple.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, the next method is remove. Whenever if you want to remove this element here, we have to pass the index position. Okay, now, so what is this method remove? Remove method is used to removing an element from the collection. So these are few elements are there inside my collection. If you want to remove any element, just pass the index position. Whenever I'm passing that index position, automatically that element will be getting removed automatically by default. That element will be getting removed. So that here to remove the element, we have to pass index position. We can't pass the name, we have to pass element index position only. Based on that index position, it will remove the element from the collection. It will remove the element from the collection based on the specified index position. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, if I wish to have index position of more than one, then?
So in this case, if you want to remove multiple elements, then we can able to pass collection. Okay, remove all. We will be having a collection. Is method is available. To pass a collection of elements, you can remove in one shot.
About index position, I'm asking.
If you want to get the index position of multiple elements, then we have to check each and every method separately. Each and every element index position, we have to get it separately by using.
At a time, we can take only one.
Yes, right. Okay, only one.
Thank you.
Only one element index position, we can collect the data. So in this case, for example, assume that this is my collection that we have. I'm having this collection right now. I want to remove an element over here. I'm indicating LST customer names dot remove. Remove of some two. Whenever I'm removing this element here, that means what? Whatever the element is available at the index position 2, that element will be getting removed. That means what? Index position 2 means what? David Dodson. This element will be getting removed. Then what will happen in this case? Now let me explain in this case. Once the operation is done, this element will be getting removed. So now the Praveen will be coming at the second index position. And then Sampath will be coming at the third index position. Sudhir will come at the fourth position. Suresh will come at the fifth position. So that here these elements will be available. These elements will be getting available in this case. That means what? That already told you collections are like as balloons. Listed collection is like as a balloon. Whenever I'm filling up some air, it will be keep on expanding. Whenever I'm removing some air, automatically size will be getting shrink. That's what I told you the point over here. Collection size can grow, can shrink at runtime. So if you're adding one more element, collection size will expand. If you're removing some element, collection size will get decreased. So that whenever I'm removing the element at the index position 2, this element will be getting removed, and then the remaining elements will be getting adjusted automatically by default. So that will be getting adjusted. Okay, this space will not be empty. Okay, this space will be occupying by Praveen over. That means the elements will be getting adjusted automatically by default. Okay, now next, the ninth method. The ninth method is sort method. Sort method. So what is the use of this sort method? Sort method is going to be arranging the elements in alphabetical order. So whatever the elements are there inside my collection, all these elements we can arrange. We can sort in alphabetical order in ascending format. Ascending means what? Minimum to maximum. Okay, minimum to maximum, we can able to arrange the elements over there. So in order to arrange the elements in the alphabetical order in ascending format, we are using the help of sort method. It will sort the elements. It will sort the elements in ascending format. Ascending order by default. For example, assume that this is my collection elements. I'm arranging these elements over here. Sort. Okay. LST customer names dot sort. So now this is the collection name here. I'm going to be arranging these elements. Whenever if you want to arrange the elements, then automatically the elements will be getting arranged over here. It will be sorting those elements. How it is sorting those elements? Now let's see practically in this case. How it is arranging the elements? Now let me explain. Now, first what it will place over here. In this case, it is going to be placing that element called as David.sum. And then after that, it will be having the element Pravi. And then Ramesh. And then Sudhir. Sorry, Sampath. And then Sudhir. And then Suresh. And then Suresh. These are the elements will be getting available. These are the elements. And then they will be having the index position automatically. Now this will be index position 0. This will be index position 1. This will be 2. This will be 3. This will be 4. This will be 5. This will be 6. So we can able to arrange the elements in ascending order automatically with the help of a ready-made method called as sort method. So whenever we are sorting the elements, the index position will be getting changed automatically. Initially, Ramesh element index position is what? 0, but now it is 2. But the Suresh element index position is 1, but now it is 5. Like that here, element index positions will be getting changed if I am going to be sorting the elements. So it is going to be arranging the elements in ascending format automatically by default. Next, the 10th method. Clear. So what do you mean by this clear method? Clear method is used to remove all the elements from the collection. So whatever the elements are there inside my collection, all the elements I want to remove. I want to clear it out, all the elements over here, whatever we have inside my collection. So to remove all the elements available inside your collection, we are going to be using the help of clear method. Now, in this case here, now it will remove all the elements from the collection. For example, LST customer names dot clear. It will remove all the elements available inside your collection. Next, equals method. Equals of list collection. That means what? Sometimes, for example, I have two list collections are available. List collection 1, list collection 2. In the list collection 1, I have some elements. In the collection 2, I have some more elements. Both are list collections only. Here I have some elements, here I have some elements. Now I want to know whether both are same or not. Whether both the collections are having same elements or not, I want to know that. For that reason, if you want to compare whether the two list collections are same or not, we are using a method called as equals. Equals method is used to compare the two list collections. So which will be returning a value called as Boolean. If both the collections are empty, both the collections are equals, it returns true, or else it returns false. So in order to compare the two collections, we are using this equals method. Now, this method is used to compare the two list collections. Now, in this case, it returns true when the collections are same. Else, it returns false. If both the collections are same or identical, it returns true, or else it returns false. Like for example, I want to verify. How can you do that? If LST customer names dot equals of, you can specify the collection name too. Which collection you would like to compare? I don't have any collection name. That's what simply I'm giving like as collection. If both are equals, I want to show the message both the collections are identical. Both the collections are identical. Else, I want to show the message system.debug. Both the collections are different. Both the collections are different. I want to show this message. In order to show whether both the collections are equal or not, we are using the method called as equals method. Next. The next method is clone. Clone method. So what is this clone method basically? Clone method in the sense, copy. Okay, clone in the sense copy. Clone method is for what? Clone method is used to create a copy of the collection. So now in this case, in order to prepare one more copy of this collection, we are using this clone. This method is used to create a copy of the collection. Now, how can we do that? LST customer names dot clone. That means it is creating a copy. Suppose, for example, it's like as a Xerox. Now, for example, I have a paper. On that paper, some matter is there, some paragraph or some photo, whatever, anything. I want to make it Xerox. I am placing the paper inside that, okay, the photostat machine or a Xerox machine. Then to print that copy, we need another paper, right? An empty paper, right? Yes, we need an empty paper. In that one, we can store. Like the similar way, whenever I'm going to be creating a cloned copy, to store this one, we need a collection, right? Yes, so that here I'm defining a list collection. List of string, I'm indicating a name called as backup copy. So I'm going to be creating a cloned copy, nothing but I'm creating a copy. That copy will be storing inside my collection, that is with the name backup copy. You can give any name over here, whatever you want. Next, the last method. The last method is set. Okay, the last method is set method. So what exactly the set method? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, so in this case, what is the use of this set method? Now let's see. So whenever if you want to replace the element values, okay, whenever if you want to replace the element values, we are using the help of a method called as set method. Set method is used to replace the element value. Generally, when you go to your normal notepad or anywhere, sometimes I want to replace some elements. There we are going to be indicating that this is the element is there, boss, please replace this element with some new value. Like the similar way here also, we can able to replace that element values also with the help of a method called as set method. Now, how can we use this set method? Now let's see practically in this case. Okay, how can we use the set method? Now let's see practically in this case. Set method. Now, so now we are going to be using this set method inside this one. Set method is used to specify the index position. Sorry, we can specify the element name. Okay, which element you would like to replace over here? What is the new name of this element over here? So what is the new name of this element over here? We need to specify those element names inside this. Now, so now as part of this set element over here, we can specify that. So we can specify the element name. Which element you would like to? Now we can specify the new element name, and then we can specify the index position. So which index position element you want to replace, with what element you want to replace over here. So for that one, we are using this set method. Set method is used to set. Setting means what? Assigning. What? This is the element name. Where? In this index position. So in this index position, whatever the element is there, replace that element with this new element value. Okay. Now, this method will replace the value of the element with the specified new element based on the specified index position. Based on the specified index position. Now, for example, assume that this is my collection that we have. You can take it normal. This is my collection. I'm going to be replacing this element value. Like LST customer names dot set. So now in this index position, okay, whatever the element is available in the index position 3, I want to update that element. I want to replace that element with the name some Praveen Kumar. Okay, I'm giving the new name like as Praveen Kumar. In this case, what will happen? This element will be getting replaced. Okay, this element will be getting replaced over here. How this element name will be like as modifying it as Praveen Kumar. This element name will be getting modifying it as Praveen. Previously, we have the element name as Praveen, but now the element name will be Praveen Kumar. Now, so in this case, whenever if you want to replace an element value, okay, if you want to replace an element value, then we are using the help of a method called as set, which will be replacing the element value with the specified new element. So these are the various methods are available as part of your list collection class. Then how to use these methods we'll see with some practical example in tomorrow's session. In tomorrow's session, I will take up a complete example. Okay, how can we utilize this particular list collection class? We'll see practically in tomorrow's session. And then tomorrow we'll see the concept of bulkification process. What exactly the bulkification process we'll see practically, and then along with that we'll see the concept of set collection class also. One more. Okay.
Feroz, I have a question on